So the FBI director says the Ferguson effect is indeed having an effect on America. And here's what he says in a recent speech that he made in Chicago. Each time somebody interprets the hashtag Black Lives Matter as a law enforcement one line moves away. And each time that someone interprets the hashtag Police Lives Matter as anti-black, the other line moves away. And he went further to say, I actually feel like the lines continue to arch away and may be accelerated incident by incident, video by video, hashtag by hashtag, and that's a terrible place to be. He went on further to say, just as those lines are arching away from each other, or maybe, just maybe, in some places because those lines are arching away from each other, we have a crisis of violent crime in some of our major cities in this country. So, yes, the FBI director is right. In a lot of cities, we have a crisis with violent crime. That is indeed true. But how we solve that violent crime in America is not by trying to pit police against communities of color, or communities of color against police, or the quote-unquote so-called Ferguson effect. Now let me be very clear. If you talk to the Black Lives Matter people, not a snippet of a random protest, right? None of that. Talk to the leaders of Black Lives Matter. Talk to people who really understand what the Black Lives Matter movement is. And what they will say to you is this: we are not anti-police. We actually think there's a place for police. We believe that in community, for community to work effectively, it is a job for law enforcement to make the community safe and welcoming, and protect that safe and welcoming nature of the community. They will also say to you that there must be a symbiotic relationship between police and the community, where they're working together, not going at each other. Now, let's take that a step further. Now, if you talk to all the Blue Lives Matter, or Police Lives Matter people, or what the hell ever, they will tell you, oh, and trust me, I've been on air with them, I'm telling you what they're going to say. Oh, you guys are trying to blame the police for black on black crime. Blah, 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 blah. Police ain't the problem. Well, America, we learned this week, we can talk about Spring Valley High School, where the young lady was basically tackled and assaulted by a police officer. Or maybe we could talk about the case of Eric Garner. Or maybe, I can go on and on with all the McKinney, Texas, where the little girl was flipped like a rag doll by a police officer who clearly thinks he's in a game of Grand Theft Auto. I can go on and point out to you different examples where police officers have used excessive force, and the reason why they've used excessive force has everything to do with the fact that they connect people of color, not all police, and be very clear, because you're like, oh, he's trying to indict all police. No, because a group of police, bad apples, whatever, because of racial profiling, because of broken windows, because of zero tolerance, basically see a group of people a certain way without really getting to understand who those people really are. Case in point, you can go back to Spring Valley High School. That young lady has just entered foster care, and probably it could be emotionally disturbed, could have some emotional issues, could have some mental issues, but that was not of concern to that police officer. He thought it was perfectly okay to just attack her like she was an animal. She was unarmed, by the way. Moving on. But the moral of the story here is this. I said this on last week's show, I'm going to say this again. If you believe that police lives matter, if you believe that all lives matter, then Black Lives Matter shouldn't be a problem for you, because amplifying one group out of the many is not a problem. But yes, indeed, the FBI officer is right. We do have violent crime. That's because there's way too many there's way too many guns on our street. There's far too much excessive police violence. And let me be very clear, local communities have been starved by politicians, by corporations, by those who want to privatize. I can go on and on and on and on and on. Local communities have been solved. If you want to stop the violent crime rash that's happening across these major cities, why don't you make sure the local economies are rich and vibrant and rich with jobs so that everybody has a chance to go to work and make ends meet for their family. Simple solution.